Oh, how you doing, you lot? Oh, guess where I am? One of my favourite places in the whole of the UK, and it's in Essex, quite close to where I live. Been here before. I'll put a link to the last video I did up here before, and we're at Hatfield Forest, a medieval hunting forest, right on the edge of Essex, near Stansted Airport it is. And this is the place for trees and wildlife around here. It's flipping lovely. Look at that. That pollarded hornbeam now. That's incredible, isn't it? Now, a lot of these old hornbeam around here, they've got things called aerial roots, where the trees are getting old and they're splitting, and you've got so much pollarding on top of them. They've got roots hanging out their trunks. It's quite insane when you see it. But I'll spin you around and show you. I've got being dragged around by a mutt. There you go. There you go, Raven. Just got out of the car, so he's a bit excited. There's Sammy there, look. And this is where we are. Look at this. What a beautiful place. Now, we popped into the top car park today. On the last video, if you watch it, or you've watched it, we parked down the bottom near the main centre. But today I want to do the top half of the forest. Well, what I call the top half. It's the Takeley Road end, the one end that's sort of closest to Stansted Airport, if you like. So we thought we'd bring you over here today and show the top half of the forest and see what we can see. There's so much to see over at this place. As you see by the last time we was here, I did a video and it turned into a flipping documentary. Anyway, we're going to have a walk, we're going to see what we can see, and we're going to show you what we see and what we find. Happy days, eh? See you in a bit. Right, so we're just crossing the exit road. So we've come out and we're heading over towards actual Hatfield Forests offices, where all the gang hang out. And we're walking across these lovely plains. Now, this whole area is used to graze cattle on in the summertime. And look at that, what a perfect place to graze your cattle. Absolutely fantastic, isn't it? Look at that. So right over there in the distance is Hatfield Forest's main office, where all the rangers and the managers and that hang out. And we're heading over to that bit there, because once upon a time I used to run courses over in that bit. I didn't take you there last time, so I thought I'd have a walk back that way to see what's about over there now. There's a lot of deer get over there. Quite a bit of fungi to be seen, but a bit late now. It's getting a bit late for the old fungi, although it is rather unseasonably warm today. I've wrapped up like an Eskimo, so has Sammy, but pretty warm. It's not too bad. But we're still coming past these beautiful oak trees. Look at them. Huge great old trees. And more of those pollarded hornbeam. As I said last time, when people pollard a tree, they chop the uppermost branches off, or sometimes they actually cap the tree, take the top off, and then all the branches grow up like that, and they use that as a crop for all sorts of stuff, charcoal, etc, etc, poles and stuff. But we're having a look around here. There's a lot of hornbeam about, and a lot of hawthorn. Now we should have the redwings and fieldfares over now. We've got the redwings and fieldfares, which are a thrush. And thrushes, the thrush name in Latin is, unfortunately, turdus. So thrushes such as blackbirds, which is a thrush, when you see a young blackbird, you can still see the speckles on its tummy. Thrushes, blackbirds, all those sort of birds, fieldfares, redwings, are all turdus. Anyway, we're heading over here now. Look at that tree there, that's incredible. big burl on the side of it. But we're heading into the actual forest itself. I want to cross this plain, which is strewn with these yellow ants nests, which is really nice. Now you only get yellow ants nests in unmanaged grazing land, farmland. So don't like disturbed soil. The other good thing about here is they do this. They leave a lot of these trees for the birds and insects to devour, which is a really important habitat. That's an old oak by the looks of things, I reckon. That sadly passed away. Nothing lives forever, does it? What a glorious day. Look at all them sloes on that blackthorn. Look at it. Mental. There's loads on there. So we walked across that plain now. We're coming up to this fence, which is closed. They shot a lot of these places off, these rides off, just to stop the human footfall, so it recovers, because they get really, really muddy. But what we'll do is we'll walk round to the other one. So we walked right over the back of the forest now, and that there, the main Hatfield Forest offices, where all the rangers go, etc, etc. We're walking right round the back, going to walk back through, and they're probably along the entrance road or the exit road, one of the two. See how it goes. But we're looking out for all sorts of birds. Now this time of the year, sometimes hawfinches are seen, which are a beautiful finch, the biggest finch we got. Huge, great big thing. And I see them over here. It's a 1,000-acre forest, so they've got plenty of hiding spaces. But we got to get into it first. Right, we're in the forest. What a stunning place. Really beautiful. We've got Hazel Coppice there. Go back to my last video I did on there, I'll describe that there, what Coppice is. Got a lot of hornbeam in here. Oak, silver birch. But it's a really lovely part of the forest, this. Very quiet, apart from the aircraft. As I said, we're right next to Stansted Airport pretty much. 20 minutes from Stansted Airport. Oh, what have I found here? There's little fungi in there. It's candle snuff fungi. So it looks like a candle, and usually at the top, when it starts to spore, when the wind catches it, it gives off a little plume of spores. Well done, isn't it? It gives off a little plume of spores, and it looks like a snuffed out candle. Oh, we've got redwings up in a canopy. Just seen a little flock of redwings fly through, which is that thrush-like bird. They like to eat berries this time of year, so they fly over and scoffle all their glut of berries, hawthorn berries, etc. You have to keep your eye out in there because there's a lot of deer in this part of the forest. Let's see if we can see some. So behind me here, you've got Elgin Coppice, and just over there, street Coppice. This woodland or forest would have been in segments back in the day, and each part of the coppice would have probably been run by a different coppicing person, and generally they lived in the woods, and that's where they harvested their crop, their coppice, mostly hazel in this part. They've harvested that and had a charcoal burner and made other goods like rakes and stuff like that. But in street coppice, where I used to run my courses many years ago, there's a big old herd of fallow in there called the street coppice herd. Strangely enough, I think I'll have a little, for old time's sake, walk over to where I used to do the courses. But it's a really nice part of the forest, really quiet. Don't get many people over here because it's the furthest part away from the car parks, so hopefully we'll see some nice stuff. There we go. This is pretty much where we used to run our courses. This big open space here. Just to stick a parachute up and do all sorts of bushcraft and survival tasks, teach people how to use knives and light fires, etc. We used to have a parachute up here. Yeah, brings back a lot of memories. Several of these high seats, high chairs in the forest, which is where they sit up and spot the deer and reduce the deer numbers in the forest. You can buy venison here, usually from the main office, and this time of year I think you can buy it from the shop next to the cafe. But the deer are just generally left to do their own thing here, so obviously you get a lot of deer and they can do a lot of damage. Talk of the devil, there's a deer over here. There's a deer. Hang on. Talk of the devil, and they shall appear. Little herd of fallow, which is the predominant deer species in this forest. Brought to the forest many moons ago, introduced into the country by the Normans mainly, but I believe that the Romans had them here too. The Romans used to take a lot of food to feed their troops with them. Dormice, they introduced dormice. And they used to carry them around in a jar, keep them in a jar. Rabbits and cages and stuff like that, just to breed and use as food as they was rampaging their way through our country. That was a nice little spot, so we've seen something today, a few deer. Got a couple of shots in there. See if we can get some better ones. But you've got to keep your eyes open. I'll turn your head and show you what I'm talking about. So, as you can see, there's a real thick silver birch and hazel coppice treescape there. So you have to relax your eyes and use something called splatter vision. Now, splatter vision is when you go into a daydream and you just stare off into oblivion. Basically that's what you do. You relax your eyes, look at something, look at a big group of trees, relax your eyes, and then the more you relax your eyes, the more you'll see movement. Now I've just done it there and seen 2 squirrels run up a tree. So you have to try that, give it a go. Go into a really thick, dense woodland, sit down, do a sit spot. I'll put a video up to a sit spot I did. I'll have to do another one of them when I go to Scotland. Relax your eyes and your vision and just try not to focus on anything in particular. Just gaze, like you're in a daydream. And then you'll start picking up movement, especially in your peripheral vision, which is the outside of the sides of your vision, up and down and left to right. So, yeah, give that a go. Splatter vision. It's quite a good little technique for spotting wildlife. There are loads of these silver birch around. Beautiful species of tree, really easily recognisable. Spoke about them in another video. But they're what's known as a pioneer tree. So, if you was to flatten this whole forest, the first trees you'd get make an appearance would be the silver birch. And you have to be very careful of them because of this. They rot from the inside out. And they look alright. You have to look up to make sure you look like you've got leaf growth on them. But the Native American Indians used to revere these trees as a tree for producing fire. And this is the reason why. They had an old story, the story of the Thunderbird. Not Thunderbirds I'll Go, but an old legend called the Thunderbird. And a coyote, a firebird, or a Thunderbird, used to be the keeper of the fire. And one day Coyote crept into the Thunderbird's lair, into his nest, and stole the fire. And he ran away, and the Thunderbird chased after the coyote, trying to catch him to get his fire back. But the coyote hid in a big silver birch tree in a hole. So the Thunderbird, to get his fire back, crashed into the tree many times. And that mark there, if you use your imagination, you have the wings and where the Thunderbird crashed into the tree to try to get the coyote out to get his fire back. So that is the mark of the Thunderbird. There, so you know this tree stores fire in it, which it does. It's good for lighting fires. There's loads of mythology about silver birch. We call it the Lady of the Woods in this country, but when you see it, you generally know you're fairly on good stead, because everything can be used of it to make fires with, especially the bark and the twigs. Anyway, there we go. A little bit of a Native American mythology for you. A couple of puffballs. That's the spores coming out. Now you can get giant puffballs, and they're can get the size of a football. They're huge, and they're said to have antibacterial properties. A giant puffball. Now when you tear it in half, it has like a fibrous mass inside with the spores in. Now at one point in time, just let me adjust this. At one point in time, every blacksmith shop in the country would have had a giant puffball hanging up, because if a blacksmith was to cut himself, he'd take a piece of the fibrous membrane off. Squirrels everywhere in here. Take a piece of the fibrous membrane off and put it on the cut, and it would help to stop the flow of blood. And also it's antibacterial, so there you go. Lots of uses, different fungi. So you have to keep your eyes open, see what you can see. But it's a giant puffball. The puffballs are the ones with a white inside that goes a creamy colour, then the yellow, and then turns into a spore sac. and earth balls are the ones that are black inside. All puff balls, the white inside ones are edible. The earth balls are not. But I'll show you where I am now. Look. Can't see the wood for the trees. Seen that hanging in a tree? It's a buzzard. Or was. There's a feather there, it's far gone. And usually when you find things hanging in trees like that, it's where someone's fed up with having their dog roll in it. So it's probably passed away. Well, no, it has passed away, you can see that, but it's passed away. Laying on the floor, started to rot. And the last thing you want is your dog rolling in that. And the other thing's fox poo in it. No one likes their dog rolling in fox poo. But look at that. There's beautiful feathers on it. Huge. So you never know what you're going to see. There's his claws there, look. Talons. Don't know where his head's gone. Cool spot. So we just stopped here. We're at the 8 Once now, which is right over on the north side of the forest. You think we've got a couple of gold crests flapping around up in these fir trees here. I think we have. See if I can get some photos. They're quite high up and they're tiny birds. But this is the 8 Once. Now, once was another old word for track, roadway, if you like. Always a sparrow just going over. Sparrow just going over. But the reason I always recognise this place is because of that hulking great big thing dangling out the tree there. There's a few theories why that is, but it's probably a burl that's being produced on the end of that branch. Doesn't look too healthy at the moment, but that's like a big clump of pine needles up there on them old pine trees. So I always remember that, because that's quite a prominent landmark. But there's 8 roadways going down here. But I can hear them gold crests now. I've got a video on gold crests and fire crests, which is quite a nice one actually. I'll point you over to that. I'll stick the link for it up there. But there's a few tits flying about. See if we can get some shots of this gold crest. We're walking down there onto the London Plain. Just that big expanse that sort of goes down the middle of the forest. And I think what we do is we'll walk around the outside to see if we can get birds flying backwards and forwards. But didn't have any joy with them gold crests. But have a look at the video. It's quite a nice little bird. And this video I'll show you here tells you the difference between a fire crest and a gold crest, which is our smallest bird in the UK. Beautiful little thing. But down this bit is sort of the area that the last, oh, the old sun's come out now. The last video ended, really. But it's lovely over here today. I think we've only seen another 2 people while we've been over here. We're walking their dogs. It's really quiet. It's one of the only places really in Essex you can sort of wander off, sit in the woods and not see anyone all day. It's, if not the only place in Essex. This is such a big place. We just had a little flock of birds fly over there, which I think might have been them redwings. But I've just brought the 100 to 500 out on the R5 today, because I couldn't be asked to carry big Bertha about. But I've also got a 1.4 teleconverter for this lens, which will take it over 600mm, but then that drops the light gathering capabilities down of the lens. Unless you've got a big lens like Big Bertha that lets a lot of light in. If you've got one of these telephoto lenses and you put a teleconverter on, it increases your f-stop so it doesn't let a lot of light through. Anyway, let's go through. There's a little river through here. Right, got a flock of field fares around me. and other birds. But I'm trying to get one of these bloody fieldfares to come out of these trees here, look. So I can get a clear shot. And they're flying over my head, but just can't get a clear shot for all that twiggage. Let's keep trying. You know when you think you're getting closer to something, but it's actually moving away from you? That's the kind of day we're having. There's so much food about. I could just get little glimpses of these birds through the existing leaves and all the twigs and the brambles and stuff. Green woodpecker. But getting close to them, just landed up there in that tree, is proven to be rather difficult. Especially these. I can't even get close enough to see whether they're fieldfares or redwings. I think they're fieldfares. But every time we get close to them, they go again. Get close to them, go again. Then someone comes around with a dog, they go again. I've got some sketchy photographs, but nothing that's any good, to be fair. But they're all in these hawthorn bushes all around us, which there's loads of. But they're a skittish bird anyway this time of year, because they've just come over. But I might have some photographs by the end of this, and then again I might not. As I say, it's the way the cookie crumbles. Ooh, hang on. I hate days like this. But there we go. I think I've established they're redwings now. I'm watching one now, and it's right in the middle of a hawthorn bush. And they feed in the middle, up out, make a noise, gone, over there. And you walk over there, and they come over here. And you walk over there, and they go over there, and they go over there, and they come over here. That's the day I'm having. But Sammy stayed over there. Well, I got close enough to get. So let's see, at least see what they were. It weren't at such a distance in. But as you can see even though it's out of focus, he's focusing on them red berries in front of it because it was so deep in the bush. The camera picks up on focus on its closest point of contact. If it comes out enough and I've got enough of a focus point on there, it will grab it and then thus blurring the branches. So sometimes you can get a half-tidy photograph, but not in this instance. Hooray, I think I might got some shots of it. Redwings. I'll show you where they are. There. In that bush, and a couple are just staying there. They're not in a flock, in a big flock, so they're not getting disturbed too much. Usually find if they're in a bigger flock, as soon as one bird gets spooked, there's more eyes on you. Do you see what I mean? But they're quite away in that tree. I think I've got a couple of shots of them. At least you'd be able to see them. Hey. Flipping hell. I've just put my 1.4 teleconverter on this lens. The only problem there is that it bumps it when you're at full range on the lens, which gives you just over 600mm. Drops it to f10. Oh, it's a J. So it doesn't let a lot of light in. So I've got to whack the ISO right up to get any sort of shot. So it's okay on really bright days. There's another one up the top of that tree there, look. It's alright on really bright days, but if the light goes in, I'll have to take it off. But see how we get on, eh? last video at Hatfield Forest, you'd have heard me mention these things, but the berries are ripe on here now, and they are beautiful. And this is that spindle tree. It's not the same one, but a spindle tree. Look at these. Look at those. They are super stunning. Look. Absolutely beautiful. How pink are they? That's a beautiful pink, isn't it? And you got that orange seed in the middle there. Around this sort of, they're like thick petals really, but at the outside of the bud. Beautiful. Look, there's loads of them up there. And I've got my leg stuck in a bramble. Ah! So it looks like the Hatfield Forest team have been doing some coppicing over here. So there's the wood. It's all been coppiced off. And this is very interesting. So they used the boughs, the branches of what they've coppiced off to create these barriers, these fences around the outside of the coppice stalls, and that allows the crop, the little sun shoots, to come up without getting browsed on by deer, because if you was to leave them open, the deer would come in there and they'd chew the entire tops of them off. So they do this, weave them around poles made from the hazel, and all the spindly bits they weave around the outside. And you get that. It looks good, doesn't it? It looks like they've done all that in there. Again, I think it's a rotation, crop rotation of about 35 years or less, depending on what you want, what size pole you want. But I don't think they'll let it go any further than 35 years. Good places to find your walking sticks. Anyway, another plane. Wish I was on it. So I've got another load of coppiced, freshly coppiced, or fairly fresh coppiced hazel over there. There's quite a lot they've done over there. Huge amount. Again, it regenerates the trees. A coppice tree will far outlive a left tree. A tree that's just left to its own devices. So this actually keeps this coppice alive for a lot longer, which is good. That's what we want to see. It's good habitat. Produces more nuts, more hazelnuts, which brings in more wildlife. So win-win, and you get a crop out of it. Happy days. Lichen. Different ones can make different coloured dyes, and that is a symbiotic relationship between a fungi and a plant and some bacteria, and that's what lichen is. It's neither plant nor fungi, it's both. Look at that, it's a nice yellow one, that is, isn't it? Look at that, look over there. Bloody hell, let me see that, it's miles away. Hundreds, if not thousands, of corvids, crows, and the jackdaws over there. Flipping loads of them. Anyway, we're having a wander back to the car now. I only come over here for a little while just to kill a bit of time. Going to my parents now, to my mum and dad's. Go and see them, and then we're off home. So, on Wednesday, I'm out on Tuesday somewhere to do an interview. Now, I've done an interview since I was at work. But who am I interviewing, you might ask? Well, you'll have to... Whoa, nearly slip down that bank. You'll have to wait. That's what I'll reply. And then you'll see what it's all about Wednesday. Hopefully, if it all goes to plan. Anyway, we've walked in a great big circle all the way around the forest. Look at that view behind me, look. Sun coming through there. Isn't that lovely? Walked in a great big circle all the way around the forest. Well, half the way through the forest. And we're going back to the car, as I said. I've had enough. Anyway, thanks for watching. If I actually get a video out of all these clips, sometimes that's just the way it is. And hopefully I'll see you Wednesday to see who I'm interviewing. Ooh, you excited? Bet you are, aren't you? You take care, stay safe and stay sane. Journey well. And I'm going to love you and leave you. See you later. Bye.